Hey, brothers and sisters. Tijaka is me, and it has been a while. Well, besides that little music, that little music that I released a little while ago, but uh, so I decided, you know what? Let's go into the backyard, and on this beautiful day, and just explain a little bit. I'm sure everybody's really kind of, been through some shit in their lives. No matter how old you are or who you are, there's always things that catch you off guard, and then there are some times that all of it decides to happen at once. Let me tell you, this year it hasn't been the best so far for a lot of celebrities that have passed away, unfortunately, but also just for people that I know and me as well. And I shouldn't say bad, but just undesirable. Basically, I won't say any names, just to, because some of it's private, to do with other people, but like, I guess I'll start in the summer. It started with my parents and I and being in kind of a financial spot that was undesirable, where we almost lost the house. Yeah. I remember we were in the kitchen, and we got a letter. And the letter said that we owed a bunch of money. I won't say specifics. It wasn't anything shady. It was for like the town, and it was just out of nowhere. Like we didn't know what to do. Like we kind of just stood there, and I read the letter and I showed my dad, and he was baffled. We were all just like, well, like, what do we do? So that was like a good mark to start off this year, of just how it would play out. A little later after that, the person that I was seeing, them and I, things didn't work out, and then we split. And that was pretty hard, but what it was is what it was. We're okay now, but it was hard. And then in between those two things, sorry, no, I'm getting them all confused. I had a friend pass away, and that was the first kind of experience that I've had like that. People have passed away in my life that I have cared about, but like somebody that was like my friend that wasn't too much older than I was. It was really rough. I'm doing a video. Yeah. Here. Say hi. Say hi. It's my Memmy. Yeah, that was really big. That shook me and my other friends who are also friends with this person, and the family. Even like just thinking about what I felt during that, I couldn't even imagine what my friend's family was feeling. All that happened like a few weeks before school started again in September. In my head, when summer first awoke, I was like, yo, like, I'm gonna slam this channel. Like, I'm just gonna like pump out videos, like lots of gameplay with friends and just lots of fun. But then those three main things happened, and it just shook me real bad. So then school came around, and I was like, fuck, like, when am I gonna get the time to do this? So I took a break. I took a hiatus. I was like, you know what? I'll get in the routine of school, and it'll work out. So then during school, I got stressed naturally. I had the typical like five classes for the semester. Workload was heavy, and then on top of that, like I I kind of like developed these feelings for one of my other friends, and then things went south. Again, spoiler alert, we're okay, but I thought I really ruined the friendship by falling for this person. And I didn't do anything. Like I didn't overstep any boundaries, but I did tell them about how I felt, and then they just, rightfully so. Like they didn't, they reacted in a panicked way. So I really thought I fucked that up. And then I remember there was one class. It was a lecture. It was history, and my friend and I we were in it. And the friend that I had like a thing for, she messaged me during the lecture and said that she was going on a date. Now, if I felt like I did now, I would have been like, yo, nice. Like, that is so sick. That is too sick. But at the time, I was ashamed of what I felt. Anger, just fire. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was shaking. I remember I was in my seat in the lecture hall and just like shaking, just because all of this happened, and then just that was the tip of the iceberg right there. And it all just came crashing down on me like all at once. And my friend who I was with, he was like, holy shit, like, dude, are you okay? And I couldn't even like respond. And he said, let's go. Let's get out of here. So during our break in the lecture, we just ditched, and then we went to the GO station, got on the train, got our seats. I just break down, just start crying. I just like I don't get embarrassed. Like, I didn't care that there were other people there, but I was just ashamed because I didn't know what to do. It was such a bad spot. It was just one of those things where like you're right at the bottom of all this stuff happening, and then like there's no way out that you can see. And you just sit there and you're like what, like look at all this, like what do I do with this, like how can I make it work? And my friend, he, like, bless him, like he's been with me through all this bullshit, and he's helped me, as well as other people. But yeah, at the time I was incapacitated. So after that, I dredged through that semester, and I decided to find more about myself. So I ended up kind of creating these two characters that if anybody follows me on Instagram or anything, you'll see these characters, Klum Gazan and Jen Miavarel. I created these two characters based on character traits of myself, because I had forgotten what I am. Like I was completely torn down, and I forgot like what makes me happy. I forgot like how I function, like whether I'm like what I'm worth, essentially. So I was like I have to like study myself. I have to like not only rebuild myself, but like love myself. These two characters, creating them, it kind of opened up my brain for me, and I was able to see it like via music and visual art. So I focused on these two characters pretty much for like the good part of the semester, and I was successful. Like I learned about how these two characters interplay with each other, and how they treat each other, and how they treat me, like in certain circumstances and situations and feelings, opinions, etc. And I began feeling myself again. So then second semester comes, and I decide to switch it up a bit. So I go part-time at school. I only take 2 classes, and I decide to get a couple more shifts at my work, so I can get some good money, save up, and just like kind of relax more. And then that was when I decided, I was like, you know what, like I think I'm gonna try to work on the channel again. The 2 classes I had the same prof, and she's very like she's quite spiritual, very open-minded, and very, very loving, and I could never regret meeting her. Like she, if I hadn't have met her, like she, like I don't know where I'd be now. While I was still in this like fragile state of like somewhat knowing myself, I entered these classes, and we meditated, and it was more of it was more like spiritual classes, involving taking your beliefs and your energy and like putting it into the art, and channeling it via meditation. And it was extremely successful. Like I still meditate now. It's calming, it's centering. Like I that's one big thing that I've taken from this past semester. During that time, I rekindled with an older friend that I met in school, in first year, because she was in my class, and like things picked up quite quickly, and we were able to, like, just, you know what I'm saying, not that far, but anyways, we had a thing. As that was going on, I was so busy with like working on myself that I began really liking that, building myself and focusing on myself. So I didn't know if I wanted to be in like a relationship. So I told her about that, and she was hurt, and it was totally understandable. But from then, she said that she was okay, but then it just kind of went downhill. I hurt her bad. I hurt her really bad. And she's since forgiven me. But I really hate hurting people. I don't think a lot of people find pleasure in hurting people, even if they think that they deserve it. It's never worth it. So that lasted for a while. That kind of conflict. We have sorted it out, and everything's okay. And then ever since then, I had more people pass away. Two family members passed away very recently. And that's when I started thinking about death. Really thinking about it. Because I never used to concern myself with it. I always thought, like, if it happens to me, I'm okay. Like I've helped people as much as I could. I've done things that I am very proud of, um, but then having so many people pass away in not even a year's time, like it got me thinking. Like I realized that everybody that I know, everybody that I've ever loved, everybody that I've ever befriended, like they're gonna go, and so am I eventually. And I just remember after the third person passed away, I was at work, and I during my break I went outside, called my dad, told him this stuff, and I just lost it, just like I did with my friend on the train. And again, I didn't know what to do. I felt horrible. Um, really thinking about that, it just does you bad, like, because there's no avoiding it. But from that, and from all this shit that happened, I learned many a thing. I'd say the main and my favorite thing that I've learned is that it's never about what you get in life, because you're out of control of that. Like you're given whatever the world wants to give to you in this life. You're given death, you're given joy, pleasure, like pain, everything. You're not in control of it, of what you get. You never will be. However, you are in control with what you do with what you get. And that is truly what makes you who you are. And me, I'm not a person that gives up so easily. And I don't think I'll ever just stay down, because it sucks down there. But sometimes we need to feel it. Because if anything, if I didn't experience this year, then I wouldn't feel the way I do now. I wouldn't have learned that. I think that's one of the most important lessons that I've ever learned in my life. It's not about what you're given, it's about what you do with it that makes you who you are. Yeah. And I've also learned that the people that you're given in this life will pass. Whether death takes them, or time takes them, or chance, whatever it is, they'll leave. But it isn't about them leaving eventually. It's about you loving and making sure that they know that you love them before that. Because in the end, that's all we got. All we have is that fire. That gold fire. That all flame. That fire that is just in all of us, each and every one of us. That we have the ability to control, but sometimes we let it ablaze out of control. And it burns and it hurts. Not just us, but everyone that you know. But if you learn to control that, it's warmth, it's passion, it's love. And then from then, there's no need for bitterness and cold. And that, from all of this that happened, that is the paramount thing that I've learned. is that no matter how dark it gets, even when all is dark and all is ashen, embers remain everlasting. Each one of us has a fire, and you got to keep it lit. That's what it's about. Anyways, yeah, sorry for the lack of goofiness. I just really wanted to have a talk to a camera. But I think this really helped. I hope whoever watches this, they you know, you find that fire, because it's all we got. But we can do with it so much. And it's all your choice what you do with it. Also, more videos coming soon.